If there is any single element that Paul fails to prove, he loses. And so basically, Logan Paul has to prove that Coffeezilla made a false statement of fact about him. Logan Paul's case against Coffeezilla is totally cooked because he can't prove that Coffeezilla's statements about him were false.
Breaking news! Logan Paul's case against Coffeezilla is getting rejected, and Logan Paul is losing the battle with Coffeezilla. This won't just destroy Logan Paul's reputation, but it could also land him in huge legal trouble.
Defamation case ultimately says the term scam should be defined. This could kill Logan Paul's defamation case against Coffeezilla.
All because he tried to harass Coffeezilla with lawsuits, even though Logan himself was the one who actually committed fraud and scammed his fans. So in today's video, we're bringing you guys the brand new update on the Logan Paul versus Coffeezilla case, where the court just put the case on pause for mediation, which basically means both sides are being told to try to settle things outside of trial. Let me explain this in simple words for you. The court is giving Logan Paul and Coffeezilla until November 10th, 2025 to figure things out in mediation. That means they'll sit with a neutral person and try to solve the issue without going to trial. By October 10th, 2025, both Logan and Coffeezilla's lawyers have to submit one joint report explaining what's happening with mediation and what's happening with another connected case called Don Holland v. CryptoZoo, Inc. And finally, everything else is paused. No new hearings, no witness questioning, and no legal moves until the judge gets this report.
Also comes after some pretty brutal things happened for the plaintiffs in the CryptoZoo class action case.
The judge gave them more time, asked for an update, and froze everything else until then. Before we dive deeper into how Logan Paul lied and scammed his fans, let's talk about why this case could destroy his WWE career. If Logan Paul loses, it could even cost him his WWE contract. WWE has a very strict reputation policy. They don't like working with people who have legal issues, especially if it's connected to major scams. Look at Brock Lesnar. He was away from WWE for years just because of his legal troubles, and only came back after everything was clear. And even more shocking, Vince McMahon, the owner and chairman of WWE, had to step down after facing serious allegations. So if someone at Vince's level can be pushed out for scandals, then Logan Paul, who's already hated for his scams, is definitely at risk of losing everything if he loses this case. Let's rewind and see how Logan Paul ended up in this mess. It all started with Logan Paul's so-called crypto project called CryptoZoo. He promised fans an NFT game where they could buy animal eggs, hatch them, and earn money from rare animals.
Chain project that I created about a year, and it yields a rare hybrid animal. That animal then yields and collects a token.
But here's the truth. The game never worked. Developers weren't paid, and thousands of fans lost their money. That's when Coffeezilla, the internet's most famous investigator, stepped in. He released multiple videos exposing CryptoZoo, showing the lies, the fake roadmap, and how Logan himself was connected to the scam.
What did you guys make from CryptoZoo?
I lost around $50,000 in CryptoZoo.
I lost $40,000.
But if you really think about it, who were the ones actually scammed here? It wasn't millionaires or billionaires. No, it was mostly poor, hopeful people. People who barely had any money. They scraped together whatever little they had, just hoping to change their luck. And Logan Paul scammed them. He took advantage of their dreams. In this video from the Joe Rogan podcast with Coffeezilla, even Joe Rogan confronted this issue directly. They talked about how Logan didn't just mess up a business project, he betrayed people who trusted him. People who couldn't afford to lose what little they had.
Last, and people are going to know, and it's going to be more difficult for the next person to, again, it's not the wealthy investors that will sue. It's these people that put in $2,000 and it was the only $2,000 they had. That's where it's so valuable, and I know that you feel that way, and it comes through in your video, and I think that's why it's appealing and that's why it's working.
I really discovered early on that nobody cares about the numbers.
Logan Paul never cared about the people he scammed. He was so shady that all he wanted was to rig people, take their money, and then create fake drama just to harass Coffeezilla and others who exposed him. And the irony is, this whole drama backfired on Logan Paul. Instead of making him look smart, it made him look like a coward, someone who hides from accountability while pretending to be a big star. The damage was huge. Logan Paul's reputation crashed, his fans turned against him, and he became one of the most hated influencers online. Instead of apologizing and fixing it, Logan attacked Coffeezilla, threatened him, and eventually even sued him.
Enforcement in the past, but his work was described as not anchored to truth and often speculative.
But Coffeezilla didn't back down. He stood firm, backed by solid evidence, and made Logan look worse with every move.
Did look to me like Coffeezilla was likely to win that argument. And that's where we find out what evidence Logan Paul is so afraid of. Specifically, we start seeing an open reference to some criminal investigations of Logan Paul specifically.
And now, after all of this, the court has forced both sides sides into mediation. But let's be real, everyone knows Logan Paul is guilty. Now the thing is bad and concerning for Logan Paul, because the court is now saying if Logan wants to escape, he should prove a lot of things against Coffeezilla. Here you will see the legal analyst Legal Bites expose this issue.
If there is any single element that Paul fails to prove, he loses. And so basically, Logan Paul has to prove that Coffeezilla made a false statement of fact about him to a third party with actual malice. And he also has to prove that the statement was the kind of statement that would cause reputational harm, and that Logan Paul, in fact, did suffer reputational harm as a result of the thing that Coffeezilla said about him.
So Logan Paul also knows there is actually nothing to prove, because in this CryptoZoo mess, what Coffeezilla dug up about Logan Paul was backed by every kind of evidence. Now the court is basically telling Logan Paul to prove that evidence is false, which is practically impossible. And because of that, both the CryptoZoo scam case and the defamation case against Coffeezilla are turning out to be totally devastating for Logan Paul.
Defamation case ultimately says the term scam should be defined. This could kill Logan Paul's defamation case against Coffeezilla. And that's because remember how I said earlier that Logan Paul has to prove every element of defamation in order to win. So if the definition that they land on is basically what amounts to actual fraud, then Logan Paul's case against Coffeezilla is totally cooked because he can't prove that Coffeezilla's statements about him were false. And that means he can't prove all of the elements of defamation, which means that Paul loses.
I think Logan Paul should be held accountable, and this time it looks like he's actually trapped by the law. But nothing is confirmed yet, because Logan Paul can do anything. He can manipulate others and even try to turn the case around using his money. That's exactly what he's trying to do now. Even before, he did the same thing, manipulating his audience and others during this whole CryptoZoo scam. And you want proof, right? Let me give you one. Remember when BBC News tried to interview Logan Paul? They came all the way just to hear his side, to let him explain the truth in front of the camera. Fans were waiting for answers. People wanted clarity. But what did Logan do? Instead of facing them, he made up another drama. He literally sent a lookalike to trick the BBC reporter. Imagine that. A major news outlet traveled a long distance, and Logan Paul played games with them by sending someone who looked like him just to avoid the truth.
What's up, dude? How's it going?
Thanks.
Matt. Sorry, I'm tired. No.
Hit me with the all right.
All right. How are you enjoying Puerto Rico? Yeah, pretty good, man.
He thinks it's me.
So, look, you're one of the most famous people by many metrics in the world.
Oh my god, he actually thinks it's me. What a dumbass.
Is there like a big weight of responsibility, or is it just a ton of fun?
Bro, I'm 205 pounds. I feel like the
205 pounds, I feel like this is an amazing.
After watching that, guys, I think many of you already felt your blood boil. Seeing Logan Paul act this shady, at a level where instead of answering serious questions, he chose to prank BBC News, it's beyond disgusting. Think about it. His responsibility was to respect journalism, to face the questions, and to give people the truth. But instead, he mocked them.
I'm right here, bud.
joking, right? This is a joke.
Let's just get out of here.
This reporter's shutting down. Rodney, I'm sending him in.
BBC is fired! BBC is fired! Fired!
No way, bro.
No touching child! No touching child!
If he can prank a world-famous media outlet like BBC, then imagine how easily he can prank his own fans. Don't you think this behavior is disgusting? Shouldn't BBC even consider filing a defamation claim now that there's actual proof of Logan Paul sending a lookalike and disrespecting their work? So guys, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. As you can already see, Logan Paul is in big trouble, and this time he's in mediation with Coffeezilla. If mediation fails and this case goes the wrong way for him, the outcome could be devastating. He could lose the case, lose millions, lose his WWE contract, and worst of all, lose what's left of his career. This could truly be the end of Logan Paul as an entertainer, athlete, and influencer. So the only question left is, how long can Logan Paul keep running before his own scams finally catch up to him?